Afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Good?
Good, yeah.
Not too bad, thank you. Andy was at two of these games, and we're going to kick off with one he was at yesterday. Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. What was your considered take on the match, Andy?
A better game to be there than I gather it would be to watch on TV.
It wasn't a particularly exciting second half. They came on strong, Brentford, and had
game of two halves, really. Two one-on-ones. Brentford a lot better in the second half. Haaland took his brilliantly, and
Igor Thiago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Haaland, though, you just, when you watch him in the flesh, when he threw off those two defenders and thrashed it in, you just go, this bloke's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He is ridiculous.
I think the technical term they use in the coaching manuals, Danny, is he's a handful.
Yes, he is. And if you look at the size of your own hands, he's probably two handfuls, isn't he? Look, we're privileged to watch him playing at the level he's playing at right now. And we mustn't always think the Premier League's the only thing that's going on, because his form is sensational, not quite up to the level of Harry Kane's in Germany, but we're watching the two greatest current sort of centre forwards in the world thrashing teams. Brentford, Andy, you're right. There was a one-on-one, wasn't there, with Donnarumma stood up to Thiago, and that kind of changed the game. But listen, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I try and find the fun in these fixtures as well as being informative about them. But I want to start with a serious note, if I can today, chaps, on your normally not so serious show. Yeah. But the injury to Rodri is, we don't. Hopefully, it's not too bad. But listen, this man has got no chance. The best player in the world in his position. Of course, the managers nationally, internationally, for club, they want us to play every game. He's not getting a rest. His injuries aren't going to be completely healed and all the rest of it. But I just wanted to talk about this, what we're putting the players through now. Think about a player who plays in the Premier League who is African. Let's just say that, and went to the World Club Championship, if such a man exists. Yeah. He will have played the World Club Championship. He's got the AFCON in January and the World Cup in June. So as well as a busy schedule, no doubt, in the Premier League and the Champions League or the Europa League, whatever, 3 global tournaments in 12 months. It's insane. Yeah. It's insane. Now, it's no good people of our age, me, you, and me, you, Paul, Andy, saying, but in the 70s and 80s, they used to play 72 games. It was a different sport. Yeah. It was a completely different sport. The speed and the power that's expected of our players now means that I just think, I have a feeling that it's no good really famous players like Rodri and Son Heung-min sitting in press conferences as international stars or national captains saying something's got to be done here. This is going to only end when a player less famous than them takes one of the big authorities, UEFA or FIFA, to court, because we are literally neglecting now the professional footballs that we rely on for our entertainment, and in the case of the three of us, for our actual living.
Yes. No, I mean, the trouble is we've got in Infantino, we've seen him instigate this vanity project and turn the kind of hit and giggle that was the Club World Cup into this, this huge competition that puts even more demands on players. Also, there isn't a great deal of public sympathy. There should be, because the same people that say, Rodri's missing, Haaland's missing, I'm gutted, I want to see the best players, I'm paying 50, 60 quid for a ticket. They'll also say, I should get 250 grand for chasing a football around.
We'd all sign that contract. Let me just take this one further for you. This international break, ridiculous second international break in 7 games in the case of the Premier League, the South American teams can't find anyone to play, because the European teams are all in competition. They've got World Cup qualifiers, but their tournament is finished. Argentina are going to America to play 2 friendlies, but listen to this. Uruguay are going to Malaysia to play the Dominican Republic and Uzbekistan.
It's ridiculous.
That's all happening in the next in the next 10 days. Now, of course, we don't know which players are involved because Bielsa doesn't announce the squad ever. You just have to go to Malaysia, wait for the bus to arrive at the Hotel Excelsior, and check who gets off with their little man bag. That's the only way you're. It doesn't announce the squad anymore now. That's given too much away. I'm hoping that Rodrigo Bentancur gets lost or doesn't know he's in the squad.
Doesn't want to give the Malaysians the upper hand, clearly, in that.
Or fixture. The Dominican Republic. No way. No way.
But what happens is that, for example, Caicedo is pulled out of Ecuador's thing, and you're just delighted. absolutely
Of course,
delighted
thrilled.
that the bloke's going to get
Absolutely
2 weeks rest. You think this is brilliant. You know, as opposed to travelling halfway around the world and playing 2 matches in about 5 days, which
terrible news for goalkeepers who have to face Caicedo's shot.
Yeah.
Well, what would it be like after 2 weeks rest?
We'll come on to that. Let's move on to Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Shall we? And boos from the Wolves fans who probably feared exactly what did happen was going to happen. And then yet another equaliser. After what happened to them last week at Spurs, very frustrating.
Not that I've got anything against Brighton, but I was gutted when they scored.
Yeah, I think you say that, Andy, for a club that supplies most of your best players, I can't see why you've got such a problem.
Because they only play against us. It was like their cup final against us, and then the next week they can't even beat Wolves. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Because he's Andy Jacobs, and you can't replace that, of course. Look, the Wolves fans, I think, were probably a little bit more negative about this than they might have been because the manager changed the way they played. Once they got ahead, they really did go into a kind of 6 at the back shell. And whereas, you know, the result they got at Tottenham, they were the superior team going forward, you could argue. Here they decided to hold what they had. Now, do I blame the manager? Yes, I do actually, because because already at the start they've made a point from every game won't keep them up, so they've got to win some football matches, particularly at home. Now look, Brighton were the better team and were dominant for long spells of it, and Wolves already. What are we? Not even. We're just barely into October, and Wolves are already at the stage where they're looking at the fixture list, and of course the next two is it away to Sunderland and home to Burnley. I think that's the way they fall. Those are games they've almost got to win now.
Oh, yeah, must win, definitely.
Yeah.
He's desperate to go. He wants to go back to the pub again, Vitor Pereira. He's missing those post-match time with the Wolves fans because he doesn't feel at the moment. I mean, if he wanders into Spoons and says the next round's on me, they all make no, you can keep your money, mate. It made.
I didn't see the incident where he got sent off.
He seemed did he kick a ball away? There was something going on down there.
Ball into the dugout or something.
Yeah, he was quite.
Oh, we've got managers getting sent off for showing their frustration. We've got managers getting sent off for celebrating. God, come on, let's have a little bit of leeway. The players, you know, they've got to behave in a certain way. I'm not sure that the managers are not part of the drama unless they're doing something absolutely ridiculous. Too much attention being paid to what's going on in the dugouts these days.
Do we need to rewrite the rules around own goals for goalkeepers? Because when a goalie throws one in, fine. But when Menezes hits a brilliant volley and it just hits the goalie's back and goes in, you kind of feel... I mean, I know it's not on target, but I do feel for the player of it. He deserved the goal for that shot.
He gets an assist.
Yeah, I suppose he does if you're fantasy footballing.
My guess, Paul, and I hate to say this, is probably to do with betting, isn't it?
It probably is. Yeah, it probably is.
But we all know that was Menezes' goal, who followed up his performance with another absolute belter. He was very good again, wasn't he?
Let's talk about Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Let's hear from Ange first. When he sat down with the press, we got prickly Ange. It's understandable after another defeat. He was asked by a journalist whether he was going to be able to turn things around at the club.
No, it's a lost cause. I mean, it's seriously, what's wrong with something being hard? Seriously, what's wrong with it? Why does everything have to be so, why do we want everything just delivered, nicely packaged? I'm sure your parents had a struggle in their life, right? And they didn't give up. You may have even been a lost cause at some point, but they didn't give up on you, right? So what I'm saying is, no. But what I'm saying is, right, I'm not having a go at you, please don't take it that way, is that, you know, it seems to be these days that as soon as something goes wrong, that's it, it's wrong, we'll change it, break it up. Like, everything that needs kind of something fixed is invariably going to go through a tough time.
There we are. There was kind of slightly...
Yeah, the problem with that is it didn't need fixing. You know, you've got to be...
That's not his fault.
No, but he's taken a team that was very good, that nearly made the Champions League, and has turned them into a fairly beatable unit. I don't think that's a great achievement. I'll just blame the other.
I don't believe for one moment when he sat down with Mr. Marinakis, he didn't say, look, you know the way I'd like to play football. You've seen the way I like to play, and that's the way I'm going to play with this team. And he's probably going, yeah, fine. Good luck. All the best, Ange.
We'll discuss that later on the pitch,
So, look, there is going to be a period of transition. I'm kind of slightly feeling for him now. The idea that, as he said, if you want to sack someone after 3.5 weeks, that's kind of on you, not on him at this stage. So, I mean, look, let's give him to the next dreaded international break.
We've got them next, and when teams on a big losing run, you always dread that you're going to be the one that gives them that victory. But it's a good chance for them because it's 12:30 after international break. It's normally a good time.
I don't know when our resident consultant, Mr. Tottenham, goes to the City Ground. Maybe that they may have to wait that long.
Paul, he's retired. Mr.
Of course, Mr. Tottenham. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he does a little bit of consultancy work with a local hospital. Anyway, let's talk.
Very quickly, Ange Postecoglou, like all managers, is in a situation where he's trying to, whatever the reason, he's got to repair the vehicle while it's on the move, hasn't he? And it's a tricky, unless it's bikes in the Tour de France where they literally hang out the windows of cars and do exactly that. It's a tricky operation. Marinakis can't sack Postecoglou because he's so clearly his mate and his appointment.
Absolutely.
And I don't, Forest aren't as bad as their results suggest, but of course that's the exact talk that gets teams relegated, isn't it?
Of course. And we should join Newcastle as well. Voltemade, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge may think they were idiots, but I'd say for 70 million quid, may look money well spent. He's
especially when Visser comes back.
Yeah, I mean, Visser will just add to the mix, but his hold-up play's great. He's scoring goals. His penalty was Kane-like. So
it's a great penalty. But if I was being picky, he still hasn't scored with his foot from open play.
No. Okay,
but that when he's got 20 goals with his head and penalties, I won't be saying that anymore.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4, on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.